overall, I think Windrunner is easier. Like, it's not that hard to deal with. It's annoying to lane against overall, yes, but it's not a hero that stresses you a lot. I think a hero per se in a mid lane, in a matchup, let's say,
Viper or...
I think a Viper, but Queen of Pain would be a really good example that you can get stressed by Queen of Pain a lot. If you have a very aggressive playstyle overall, a matchup that doesn't suit a Queen of Pain against a Shadow Fiend, for example.
Makes you frustrated you can't play aggressive.
It's more of those kind of heroes.
Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend is in the pool.
Yeah.
Both in.
No Logic is on the Radiant side, I think Shadow Fiend might be...
It could be one option, but it also depends on what Excalibur really likes to play.
Okay.
So we can see the Shadow Fiend here, so that should be most likely his hero. And Lich could be the opening for an offlane dual lane, potentially. We saw the dual lanes that they ran before. Yeah. This is a more common to see hero on the offlane. And I also think they should run it on that lane for sure. Unless we actually seen yesterday, Shadow Fiend played with a Lich in the later portion of the early game that a Lich rotate towards the mid lane. I like Lich Shadow Fiend as a dual lane middle a lot. It's not as common. It's not as common, no, even at the start, that you just make sure the mid lane gets almost nothing. You just keep denying the lane and make it easy for a Shadow Fiend that you stack up for him. You just give him a really good game. And the mid laner, if it's a Queen of Pain can't deal with a Lich dual lane in the mid lane at all. It's really, really tough to have a good game as your mid.
Yeah, it's already very common to see, at least for the first 2 minutes, it's actually a 2v2 in the mid lane. Like, the supports come in and help. Yeah. And what better support to have a Lich, taking away the experience from the other dual lane. We are going to see the Beastmaster Slaughter, so looks like a safe lane Slaughter and an off lane Beastmaster. Obviously, the Beastmaster could go mid, and I think yesterday you were mentioning that Slaughter could be a mid hero if there's a right matchup, but definitely not against a Shadow Fiend.
No, in that matchup, he's going to have a hard time, and I would also assume it tends to be more of a carry role. Slaughter.
Yeah, I agree. How important is the Dazzle ban here? Like, both teams would benefit very highly, especially No Logic Gaming because from the Dazzle.
I think Dazzle overall has a pretty good synergy with a Slaughter, so...
I think it's also really good against someone like Beastmaster, who's you try and focus them one hero. Heroes like Shadow Demon and Dazzle become way more powerful.
It's just that, I mean, for the side of Empire, I think it's a good pick. On the side of No Logic Gaming, I don't think it's great. Lich, Dazzle...
Because you're two defensive supports.
It just... I feel like the synergy is not that great, but you could still, I guess you could still end up in pretty good dual lanes.
I wouldn't mind seeing another Disruptor. I think that hero can just make so many plays, although it does work better if you're ahead from the start, so that you can actually...
Because you can pull people back.
Yeah, it's not really easy to fight from behind with Disruptor, but I think if you're fighting from ahead, the amount of control and chase potential it gives is insane.
I think Shadow Demon actually
Going back to my words, I actually like the Dazzle.
Yeah, Dazzle works for No Logic Gaming.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a Wind Ranger ban coming, this time from No Logic Gaming.
He's like, I don't want to do Shadow Fiend versus Wind Ranger.
No.
I don't want him to prove that he can do it too. That might be as well.
It's actually a particular reason why they switched up the lanes. I think Yoki is a better offlaner and Resolution is a better mid player.
Team pick.
And maybe they just wanted to mix it up.
I think they wanted to mix it up. There were rumors going around as well that...
Wait, didn't we interview Resolution? He said he wanted a challenge.
Yeah, we put we're a little bit words in his mouth.
Yeah, we kind of did.
Because
maybe he got
that was mad.
Yes.
Speaking from my experience, that what can happen in a team is that you get tired of how your game runs and how your game is going, and Resolution is more of the player that creates a lot of space for his team, while Yoki is the player that, as an offlaner, gets a lot of farm. He likes to farm, so he likes to be a center of attention.
Reminds me of S4 and Bulldog, actually, a lot.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Where Bulldog still forces, he will always get farm, no matter what. Yeah. That's just his playstyle. He likes to get that farm and attention, and maybe it suited that kind of playstyle for Empire to switch it up.
The rumor was that Yoki wanted to play mid, therefore Yoki wasn't in Team Empire when the rosters were set.
Oh, okay.
And then obviously they missed the roster lock and Yoki came back and then, went to play mid because he wanted to play mid, and then Empire offered him the opportunity and they worked it out internally to do it the way that they did. But that's a rumor, so there's no guarantee on that.
I mean, it has some, like back when we came from Hon with the old Fnatic roster. We were in a similar situation where I used to play mid in Dota 1, but then I switched to support in Hon. And then when we transitioned to Dota 2, it was the problem that I guess Notel or our synergy overall did not really fit that he plays a mid role.
Yeah.
So then we switched it up, and then I turned towards the mid lane where he played the support. But now, with the current roster in Monkey Business, I think innerly he really enjoys playing a mid role. He just really likes playing the core role, and that's where he switched back to. And I think it's really good for him. So it could be exactly that inner, like, you're not really happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's a switch up.
To be honest, lately we've seen offliners just being a lot more playmakers and tempo definers, and I think that really suits Resolution. He's doing amazingly on that offlane, even though he's switched not too recently, fairly recently rather.
Dragon Knight time?
Is it though? For Empire?
Yeah.
So many melee cores. I don't know. You're gonna be up against the Lich. It's gonna be really tricky. Lich and Disruptor. I wouldn't want to have another melee core.
You run a very tanky lineup with a Dragon Knight, but you also are guaranteed to lose your lane. You're not winning a lane against a Shadow Fiend, and you would want to pressure that hero.
I like
Queen
to
of Pain
see,
is still here, actually.
yeah, like more of a magic-based core.
Yeah, because you have so much physical damage already.
Yeah, and also, if you think about Lich Frost Armor, the Frost Blast, and Tusk Frozen Sigil, you can have a ton of minus attack speed, which I think is often the forgotten part about this kind of dual combination of heroes. Obviously, you do have the Inner Beast Aura from Beastmaster helping out, but let's say No Logic somehow picks up a Shiva's card, right, somewhere down the line. Suddenly, the minus attack speed will stack up quite a bit. Against a hero like Slardar, he's not going to be attacking that much.
It's true.
But again, Beastmaster, especially if he picks up Necrobook, should even things out a bit there.
I think Queen of Pain is decent. Disruptor is obviously pretty good against Queen of Pain.
10 seconds remaining.
pretty
Queen
decent.
of Pain is optional. Tinker
5
is actually
With the
really
Beastmaster.
good.
But this time it's Team Empire.
Yeah.
Yoki Tinker, it's Yoki Queen of Pain.
No surprise there. It's a good solid pick, especially on Dire. Is one of the better heroes just because ganking is going to be harder.
Yep.
And your rune control is still pretty good.
And you also, when you get a roar, you have follow-up damage behind it. You
Though
know,
I'm actually very
10
interested in how the Lich will function in this kind of game. If he's going to be in the mid lane to support a Shadow Fiend, which I think would be still a pretty good decision to do that. Because there's hardly any hero on the side of Empire that can help out a Queen of Pain.
Yeah.
You can't just come there and do that much. Lich can stack for you. Lich is going to take over the lane once you hit level 5 on Shadow Fiend, and you can take those stacks. And you still take one creep every wave. It's very, very annoying to play against.
seconds remaining.
what do you think of Lich Legion Commander, dual offline?
Radiant team pick.
Lich Legion Commander.
I think the spell is very, very good against roar.
The problem is that Lich in a dual lane, off lane, unless it's a Doom, I think the hero Lich in itself doesn't really help you on the lane. Like he
Pulls it back a bit for you.
pulls it back, but it's not a lane that actually pressures you.
Okay.
Like you sustain on the lane, well, you can sit at the tower, but you will not force the carry to like suddenly stop farming. He will get less for sure, but he's not like it's not a lane that pressures you. So then you can be more vulnerable on your mid lane per se.
So we couldn't do this last game because obviously we weren't the ones doing the draft. But I can do it this game. What's your thoughts? Who's gonna win? Give me a prediction. Is No Logic Gaming gonna do it again?
Honestly,
Team Empire gonna be striking back?
I'm gonna go with Empire in this. I think the Beastmaster's really good against Slark, and they have you have the vision to catch him out.
Okay, Hani?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going for a dual lane here. I'd assume that Undying as well as Beastmaster is gonna go in the off lane, and Lich is not gonna help there. I do see this Slark struggle a lot,
Yeah.
and I would go with Empire here.
Yeah, I'll go with Team Empire as well. I think their team fight and lanes are a lot easier to execute. I feel like if No Logic Gaming is going to win this game, they have to snowball hard again. And I don't think this time Team Empire is going to underestimate them. So
I do have to point out to people at home that most people on this couch were also skeptical with the draft of No Logic Gaming previous game.
I just say they can win if they
Yeah,
snowball
yeah,
hard.
yeah.
though.
Okay, let's go
But we all
against
agreed
it.
that Empire's
If there's
draft was very
a
strong.
Lich,
I didn't say that.
if there's a Lich Shadow Fiend lane in mid, I'm gonna go with No Logic Gaming. If that happens.
If there's a Lich Shadow Fiend mid,
Yeah.
okay. I'll allow that stint in the contract, apparently. But we're gonna find out who's gonna take this this game, if it's gonna be 1-1 or if No Logic Gaming can get an upset and get a 2-0 in the pocket. It is time for No Logic Gaming versus Empire with OD Pixel and Draskell.
Indeed, thank you very much, Shiva. We are back with No Logic Gaming versus Team Empire. The game has begun, so let's get ourselves into it. I'm OD Pixel. I'm here with Draskell. And are we feeling a little bit more hopeful for Empire this game in terms of the draft? I mean, obviously in game one, we thought the draft was good, but NLG showed us up on that one. I mean, we're seeing it. Heroes like the Slark coming out from NLG.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to pick Slark in a situation like this where the other team actually has, I would say Empire have pretty strong lanes, you know. Obviously you pick Lich to win your lanes as well on the side of NLG, so curious to see how the lanes themselves are going to shape up. I would imagine that we're going to be seeing a Lich with a Slark, no matter where he goes, because I think that hero needs the help of the Lich more than anyone else. So that gives you the experience that you need, that helps you control the lane. Maybe you get some more farm out of it too, to help yourself transition more smoothly into a mid game. So I think that would be nice for them. As far as Empire goes though, really like the Beastmaster pick. I've always been a fan of the hero. I'm glad to see that Resolution's going to be getting his chance to play it at least one more time, but I don't want to take anything away from NLG because I saw what they did last game and I'm just like...
They're pretty freaking good.
I can theorize the lanes and who should win, but if there's a game like that Windranger previously, I think it could just be like all analysis is off, right? Like if he just goes ham, then he goes ham. But I think it's much harder for a Shadow Fiend to have the kind of impact that a Windranger had in the previous match because solo kill potential is not really something that Shadow Fiend typically has unless you're building like Blink or Shadow Blade or Yules and stuff like that, which we don't
might see him do.
We don't see it much anymore though.
We might see Excalibur
He
do.
might do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying one way or the other, but it is very uncommon nowadays.
Yeah, and I think as well, I mean, in terms of kind of the lane matchup, the fact that you're going to be against a Quat, that's going to be a bit of a harder matchup, would you say, if the Windranger was against the SF? You know, the fact that you're going to have that extra kind of potential. And we know, of course, that Yoku's pretty good on the Quat, but then again, we did say that about his SF in game one, and he did die 3 times in lane in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
one of those was a
step
gank.
it up for this.
One of those was a gank.
One of those was a gang.
Yeah.
We'll give him that one. We'll give him that one. But nonetheless, he's going to have to step it up this game against young Master Steve here to prove himself in the mid lane here for the side of Empire. Game one, a bit of a train wreck here for the Dire side. And let's see if they can do something different this match.
I think Empire are the kind of team that can bounce back.
Yes.
They've been around for a real long time. It's not really...
Yeah, exactly as you said. You know, we've seen a lot of series where Empire might have had a rough game, but then they've just come back and shown us why they've got kind of the fan base that they have in the second game. So we'll see if that's going to be the case this time round. Lane-wise, I guess it's a little bit different in the sense that we are seeing Slark on the top lane, but I guess that's understandable, kind of wanting to avoid the Undying Beastmaster matchup, I guess.
Undying Beastmaster is spooky. But this is kind of what I was thinking of as well. I figured Spartan would just follow Garter, like no matter where he went.
Yes, yeah.
Because it's more about just making sure that he has a pretty good early game. And we didn't really talk a lot about Garter in game one because it was so easy to just go on about how Mitch and how Excalibur played great. But he also had a very solid game on top of that. So I'm looking to this Slark and I'm thinking, okay, this could be his time to shine now as well.
The battle begins.
Silence going to be there. Excalibur giving him a slap, and he'll take the room. Same time, Yoku will be able to claim himself a bounty at the bottom. It's going to be interesting to see how these lanes do go down with the hero matchups that we've got. And as you said, overall, you reckon NLG going to be feeling a little bit happier with the matchups that they're going to be finding on this initial laning stage?
Yeah, I think Silent is being sacked. Or they're going to rotate supports for him, one or the other. I think No Fear is probably going to make his way up there after he's done helping mid a bit. Because if the Disruptor just sits mid, it's going to be real tough for Yoku to really pressure. But if both supports are just content to go to their respective safe lanes, then I think Empire will be happy with the fact that they're beginning a 1v1, where Yoku can have his revenge, if you want to call it that. And then top lane, it should still be quite easy, I feel, for NLG. At the very least, they can control the lane and still win the experience trade.
Yeah, we're going to see, pretty much as you said straight away, No Fear heading up here, realizing that he's going to be needed to help out Silent. Silent going in with the crush again and the heal bomb. Guards are fairly low, and he did put that first point into the old Essence shift so he could trade hits and pop this out, but that will get cancelled. And well, it's going to be good for the side of Empire that No Fear's turned up in the mid lane. Yoku getting forced back very heavily here by Milan. And as you said, the fact that the Disruptor is going to hang around with Excalibur, making it hard for Yoku to lane on this quad.
Well, it's good that they actually are trying to pressure that middle lane a bit on the side of NLG, because that salve cancel really hurts this top lane a lot. Like, not having that extra, okay, well, I can go back to health for free. Now I got to either buy one, use the courier, hope that Excalibur doesn't need it for his bottle. And as of right now, it's still fairly even in mid too, even with the help of the disruptors. So I'd say that for the moment, NLG, they are not really getting the favorable lane trade at the moment, especially considering their resolution is getting more or less free farm.
There's the Yoku that we would kind of expect to see. Getting first blood against Excalibur. Kind of giving Excalibur a bit of a taste of his own medicine from game 1, where we saw, of course, Excalibur in turn get first blood onto Yoku.
Revenge is had, and he gets a regen. Oh. So that's like, that is the ultimate reverse stream. When you get solo killed, and then the enemy hero normally would have to go back, but he gets a regen, and he's gonna have a full bottle. This is real bad for mid.
I guess on the plus for the side of NLG, Mitch is not having too much of a bad time down in this bottom lane. He's getting himself a fair bit of solo XP. The two of them unable to harass him right back out the lane. Mid lane, Yoku and Excalibur just trading raises and daggers. In terms of the CS though, 6 for 5, 5 for 6. Fairly even, but of course Yoku with that edge of getting the kill. Mitch comes in close. Lower Dodge just going to try and force him back. They're trying to get the ball slow on, but Mitch a little bit too speedy there with the brown boots.
My biggest question is, how much are they expecting Mitch to get out of this lane? Are they going to rely on him to be rotating, like maybe top, for example, to try to go for kills? Because I think with a snowball and a nuke coming in from the Lich, they could potentially kill. But for now, he's just sitting back here getting zoned a bit.
Nice glimpse. Very nice glimpse, bringing Yoku back.
Fine though, I think.
They've got the double raises. I don't think this man's fine, Andy.
Oh, he had his bottle on the courier, that's why.
Top lane though, Silent will find a return kill. So it's going to be 1 for 1. But obviously the punishing factor being the fact that NLG do of course take away that quap from Empire for a good 10 seconds or so.
I'm really surprised he was able to land those 2 raises. I thought he might have been, like he should have been able to land 1, but I was kind of questioning if the second would hit. And very nice turnaround kill there. I didn't actually see what happened top though, because I was very busy watching middle. So I don't know how that engagement kind of kicked off.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, the Slark, why do you feel the Slark was picked up this game? I mean, we very rarely see Slark in competitive. It kind of feels like recently in the past few numerous patches. Only kind of the odd situations where teams feel that it's situationally going to be a good pick. And why do you think NLG thought that this game?
Well, you do have a Lich to partner with it, and I want to say they picked it pretty early on. So with that in mind, you automatically have a lane that should on paper be able to do okay, even against a rough lane, which Slardar Dazzle isn't the best lane in the world, but I'd say against Slark, it's probably good enough, because Slark is not known as a very strong laner. But when you partner him with that Lich, then you're giving yourself a, I'm going to at least kind of do well in my lane. Glimpse again, the raise.
Raise timing there before a blink was coming out.
That was nice.
I mean, you said this earlier, the Disruptor Shadow Fiend combination against a Quap, it's certainly one way to deal with the hero.
He's just very good at timing it.
They might find a kill onto Spartan. I'm going to see Garter holding back Silent. The right click and the poison touch do finish off the Lich. They're looking for Garter as well here, but he is going to be able to keep himself alive.
I think he wanted to even go back in. That man knows no fear.
He was thinking about it. He was thinking about it. But nonetheless, a stronger start for Empire than they had in game 1.
I'm really surprised that they're actually getting so much out of this safe lane. I really thought that it wouldn't be so bad, like they wouldn't be losing heroes and such, and for now, that Lich is kind of just food. And if it makes him eventually like not come back to the lane, that's going to be even worse. I think they can't really sacrifice this lane. They have to keep sending him up here and make sure that Garter can still hit CS, because him and Silent are roughly even right now, Silent with a slight edge, and he also does have 1 kill to his name. But I think it's more about getting that Slark to the mid-game, to the late-game phase, where you can actually start doing things in fights.
Yeah. And it's one of those games as well with the Slardar where it's going to be very dependent on the timing of the blink. You know, as soon as you get that on, if you get that at a good stage, that you're able to go aggressive on the SF mid, and yeah, Mitch bottom lane. Eats a mango, will turn around with a snowball, and he might actually find it onto Resolution here. Can he get it? Yes, he can. Oh, he's got the shots as well. Can he block Aloha Dance away from him? I don't think he will, no. Aloha Dance just gives him the old rundown. But nonetheless, finding a kill on the way down there on the Tusk.
Yeah, he could have gone for like a point-blank shards and hoped to block him out, but it's so difficult when the hero has boots, especially Undying, because he has insane movement speed.
And he did have a mango and another decay, so it would have been hard. Garter, he's going to go for it here. The Dark Pact not coming out straight away, so the Crush actually does hold him back there. He did have 3 points in the Dark Pact as well, so a little bit unfortunate that he didn't get that one off because he might have got himself the kill there.
I think he would have been fine actually either way.
Okay.
Selen has quite a bit of HP at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah, that's true.
The thing that's really interesting to me right now is the fact that that Undying is a 0-point tombstone. He's just full decay right now.
Okay.
Now, when you're zoning like a solo hero, maxing decay is typically better because you can use it as just like a poke tool instead of, okay, I'm going to drop my tombstone. Because when you do that, you actually have to chase for an extended period of time. And sure, tombstone is better for tower diving, but I think in this niche scenario where you're just trying to keep a hero under his tower, that decay maxing can actually be quite potent.
And Mitch on this bottom lane still, though, even though we saw him get taken down once. Still finding a fair bit of XP coming up to level 7 now on that Tusk. Silence, 600 gold towards that Blink Dagger. And I guess the question is for Garter, what do you build up on the Slark in this game? Are we going to see him go for something like an early Shadow Blade or a Blink Dagger, or do you have to kind of get the stats up first?
I think Shadow Blade is fine against this matchup. Like, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, they have Amp, but Dark Pact is a thing, so you can just get rid of it, basically, every 6 seconds when it's level 4. And I think that's enough. Like, you really want to have an item that increases your farm rate and also helps you get in and out of teamfights, which Shadow Blade accomplishes. I also think Blink is good, but Blink doesn't give you damage, and it's not really that much more expensive than just buying a Blink Dagger anyway. And plus, the attack speed synergizes very well with Essence Shift, so if you have, like, Tread, Shadow Blade, Aquila, you're pretty much good to go.
Oh, nice little cheeky rune denial on the bottom.
Oh, that's a miss.
That is a miss indeed, and they may just try and turn this run around. Garter is level 6, and yeah, I'll pop the ult here just to make sure he can get himself away from Silent. And they should be fine. And as we can see, of course, in the mid lane, a lot of farm here for Steve. Has been using the stacks very nicely in the jungle, but let's hold that for because bottom lane, there's a bit of action going on. Resolution turn around with the Roar, and they'll get that one with the axes. They'll take the kill. Can they turn it around? The kinetic field actually just trapping them both beautifully. And Aloha Dance may just go down as well. Oh no, it's going to be Yoku turning up and turning it around. Takes down Milan there. The Sonic Wave was out just in time before he got glimpsed back. So we're 1 for 3 there between the sides. Empire coming out on top. So yeah, good job that Yoku turned up on that bottom fight.
Yeah, that was a really nice TP reaction. Like, as soon as he sees the SF TPing, he knows he has to go as well, just to make sure that the fight doesn't go too favorably for one side. So 3 for Nada, take it. Or 3 for 1, I guess. Resolution died.
Yeah,
right?
3 for
3-4.
3-4.
Definitely a much better start for Empire this game. And I also feel that their team is very good at controlling. He's fine, he's got pounce.
He's all good.
But Empire's team is very good at controlling the map because they have Hawk Vision. They're going to have Blink Initiators, Beastmaster, and Slardar with the Queen on top of everything else.
He's got to go back in here. He's looking for the Dazzle.
Dude, he can't. It's too manly. There's 10 stick charges on him as well, so if he goes in, he probably just dies.
Now, can they get the kill on Resolution mid? Straight up Chain Frost in. Oh, that glimpse. Oh, 3 bounces hitting onto the Beastmaster there.
That was pain.
That was some very nice choreography there from NLG.
Summoning that boar actually did way more harm than good.
Yep.
It's kind of instinct when you're playing Beastmaster to pop a boar and put it on somebody so you can run away, but in that case, it actually just destroyed him.
On top lane again, Garter's having a bit of trouble dealing with Silent now. We see him keep trying to kind of trade hits, but Silent at this point a little bit too tanky. Yoku's coming in with the wraparound, doesn't have the Sonic Wave. Milan's going to find him here with Spartan. They've got the Static Storm, they'll drop it, and the Glimpse won't be on point, unfortunately. Brings him outside of the field, so Yoku will be able to escape. Only just though. So a little bit unlucky there for the Disruptor that he couldn't get the Glimpse back into the field.
Yeah, I think that was, if he waited maybe another second or 2, it probably would have put him back in, but mistimings happen. Resolution though, bottom lane.
Yeah, Mitch turning this one around. Resolution tried to go in aggressive, and Excalibur just turns up with a raise to the face. As NLG keeping themselves in this one nicely, 6 for 7 between the two sides. It isn't a dominant, as dominant as the performance as we saw in the first 10 minutes from NLG in the first game, but still a very respectable one against Empire.
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same story. You have one person doing very well as top.
Oh, this 2-mac rush. Very nice there from Silent. Are they wanting to dive this? I don't know if they do. No, the TPs are coming out. Milan will be able to glimpse back Yoku, but Aloha Dance just continues to chase down the Disruptor. Yoku's going to be able to get himself back in. Blinks forward there, the dagger to Milan. They'll take down the Disruptor. It's going to be actually a double kill granted for Aloha Dance. At the same time, though, bottom lane, Excalibur went in with Mitch and they took the life of No Fear on the Dazzle, and they also find themselves that tower here.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This is a very action-packed game, similar to the first one, except this one's not as one-sided.
Yes.
It's not Empire just losing heroes everywhere. They're actually in the kill lead at this point in time. The SF on No Logic Gaming, like Excalibur, is still getting a tremendous amount of farm, but the Blink Dagger timing is like 7 minutes sooner than Silent had his Blink in the first game.
Yeah, this is going to be the big thing. What the Slardar can do with the Blink Dagger here. Because we've already seen how good Empire's lineup is for taking these skirmishes, with the Undying, with the Beastmaster at this point, throwing in the Quap, you know, jumping in with the ultimate. It certainly feels like a lot better draft to deal with the playstyle of NLG than Empire had in Game 1. It kind of feels like they adapted to what they saw in the first match.
They're just more capable, I think, of fighting early on.
Yeah.
Like, they're not picking a support like Ancient Apparition, which kind of needs 6 and doesn't offer any disables. This time, they have a good defensive support. They have aggressive hero like...
This man's a very dead man.
All right.
We'll tank the effective gank there, as that was a smoke up from NLG, but they'll be happy with that one. Empire now going to smoke round themselves. They do have this Blink Dagger. They're going to try for it. Straight in with the crush onto Excalibur. Yoku's there as well. The Sonic Wave onto multiple heroes, but Excalibur still will be able to get out the ult. The Chain Frost bouncing back onto Silent. There's a roar coming out. They do find the Shadow Fiend kill. So Empire do come out of that gank on top. Won't be able to find anything else though, but that was pretty much the pickup they wanted, getting the SF, who, as you were saying, Excalibur has been having a great time in terms of farm, so that is the important kill to find off the back of these smokes from Empire. They may just find more here. Silence trying to move in, looking for a potential blink. The Snowball actually coming out very aggressively here onto Resolution. Crush down to Mitch. Regardless, just moving in, and Silent may have overstepped the market. He certainly has. They'll find the kill there onto Slardar. Now with a beautiful glimpse onto Yoku, they're going to get the Quap as well. Bringing Carter incredibly low there as the screen came out. But nonetheless, a double kill for the Slark and some really nice play here from Milan on the Disruptor.
They're going to be pretty upset, I think, with that. Because the thing is, they drop Static Storm, like everything pretty much, on Aloha Dance, right, when he TP'd mid. And then knowing that they had already used his ultimates, Empire want to defend even in a 4v5 scenario because they have the surprise of a Blink Dagger that NLG probably don't know about. So he gets initiation, they kill a Shadow Fiend. That in of itself would have been a victory for Empire because normally NLG kill the tower.
Oh, is he going to find an Invis? Going to get the Amplifier off? Yes, he can. Gets the Amplifier out. Silent's going to chase it, but Garte is there on the back. Thinking about fighting. Can they turn it? Spark gets out. Spark's going to live. Now Silent's trapped up in the kinetic field and the Static Storm. Garte will put the Shadow Dance here. Silent tries to walk himself away, but there's a snowball up his backside. They'll lose the Slardar here. And Empire now just with no friend. Aloha Dance hanging around. Garte's getting low. Needs to get himself out. May tick down at the urn. Can he get himself away? No, he can't. They'll kill the Slark. Now with the roar onto Milan. He's turned up to the fight Resolution, and he'll find the kill there with Aloha Dance's help. And again, a very messy game between the two sides. This time, it is Empire coming out on top of that engagement, though.
Yeah, the Hawk Vision actually screwed over the Slark there real badly because he went up to high ground like Garter did, and he would have gotten enough regeneration, I think, to live through one more decay if he went into Fog, but he didn't because the Hawk saw him. So Beastmaster being a very, very big nuisance against that hero, even in the earlier stages of the game. And Empire are going to be much more pleased with that engagement than the last. They might even find Excalibur here.
Yeah.
He has a TP. He's got to go right away.
Move.
Yeah, he's
this
gone.
is the play, yeah. Straight out. Knows that there's backup on the way for Empire. And yeah, I mean, nonetheless, though, in terms of cancelling that TP, they didn't have a roar.
They had nothing.
They had nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, Silent was further up the lane, but he's only just turned up. I mean, TPs are the aim of the game here for NLG at the moment.
Until the Queen of Pain finishes, Yoku's going for it, and that'll give them another way to interrupt TPs.
Which they do need. They do need it.
Yeah, you're going to have Silence Blink Crush coming out soon. I'm very... Like, I'm looking at this build from Undying, and I'm thinking to myself, it actually makes a lot of sense. Like, if you have Urn and you have Treads, and you're just maxing Decay to steal Strength, like, it gives you the base damage. You can run at people, and your auto attacks do a pretty good amount if you have, like, 5+ Decay stacks, right? And then you can just go straight for Aghanims, which means that you're already having more synergy. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see him buy the item.
And you got to admit that Aloha Dance's performance this game has been pretty outstanding.
Dude, he's 6-1.
Yeah.
He's owning.
He's having a great time. So it's certainly working out for him. It is, as you said, going to be interesting to see what he does with the amount of money that he's starting to build up, and if it is going to be a potential Aghanims here on the Dirge.
I think it would be very good with his build. Like, given the items that he's already bought, like, he wants to chase, he wants to hit. Smoke here from NLG.
Yeah, this is nice. The ball comes up. It's going to spot Gartan. Oh, the ball's just going to kill the courier, in fact. They lose the courier to the Beastmaster ball. They do kill the Beastmaster in return. And that did actually have Excalibur's Ogre Club there. I think part of the SNY, it was the completed SNY potentially. So that's going to be off the pitch for 3 minutes. And just a bit of a missed micro there with the courier just getting taken down by the Beastmaster ball.
Don't underestimate the boars, man.
Don't underestimate the balls.
Those things hit for 60 damage. That is OP. So I think it's still fine that they lose that SNY. It's more going to be about the BKB timing here on Excalibur. Or even if he decides he wants to get it at this early stage, maybe he feels safe enough without it. I think that it's a very good pickup for him. And somebody is also going to want to Lotus Orb. Yoku gets punched here. There's a glimpse.
Oh, Silent with the 2-man crush, jumping straight in. Mitch has dropped the Static Storm, in fact, catching Yoku and Aloha. They'll get the Requiem of Souls off. They'll bring down Silent. They'll find Aloha Dancer as well. They found 3, in fact. They're going to find 4 almost certainly. No Fair has to Shallow Grave himself, but the entire lineup of NLG now chasing them up to the high ground. Resolution's got to run. He does have a roar available. Now with the Snowball stun onto him, the punch as well. They'll look for this, and he gets glimpsed back before he can even get the roar off. Double kill for Garter. It's a team wipe from NLG. And in a situation similar to what we saw in Game 1, they just outplayed Empire then.
I'm not really sure why the Queen blinked there, because the way the shards were positioned, he wasn't trapped. So he could have just walked away. And then if you get glimpsed, okay, fine, then maybe I can blink. But if he blinks there, he pretty much assures the fact that there's going to be a fight, and he's gonna die. So I'm not really sure why Yoku decided to blink in that situation, because it set them up for a very, very bad team fight, and Resolution didn't get to roar. There was no real damage coming out at all, because Yoku was pretty much the first casualty. That was just a very interesting engagement on Empire's side, to be honest. I don't know what really the game plan was there.
I mean, you were talking about it earlier as well for Excalibur on the SF. He does have 2.4k gold coming up in his bank. Does he need a BKB now at this point, or do you think he can afford to go for something maybe more aggressive, or maybe just continue with the stat idea and go for a Skadi next?
If they're really far ahead, he might delay BKB.
Yeah.
Because the later you buy it, the better it is at that stage, right? Because you get 10 seconds on it instead of potentially 5, depending on how often you're taking the fights. But if you know that your objective is to fight and take towers, then I think BKB could very easily be a choice for him, because you see the tier 1 top is still alive. They got a bunch of tier 2s. Yoku's scouting here. I don't think he's going to go for anything.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't have any backup at the moment. Just checking out what's going on. The ping's coming out as they see that there is now 4. Oh, is he going to spot this smoke? Are they going to smoke up here?
That sentry drop. That could have been real bad for him.
Okay, they're going to be all right. Okay, they don't spot each other out. He'll just see the fact that they have got this movement going in the jungle. He's going to continue to hang around, and now they don't quite have vision though on that point, so Yoku is playing very tentatively here. If anyone comes around, no, he's going to be fine. NLG are backing out of their jungle. I mean, if they did head round that way, a quick glimpse into a static storm could have been a little bit disastrous there for the quad.
Yeah, the thing is, Euless doesn't even save you from glimpse. You get sucked right out of it, and you get put back in the static storm anyway. It is a nice item if you're already in storm, because you can Euless yourself, but if you're getting glimpsed, you're going to get glimpsed. Like, you just can't do anything about it as queen, so. NLG still looking pretty darn good right now. Their lead isn't massive in the way of gold, like 3k, but the experience lead is fairly substantial, given that they just won a 5-0 team fight, more or less. And now with the courier being respawned, Shadow Fiend has opted to go back for the Helm of the Dominator, so he's not buying the BKB just yet, but he is also gearing himself up to be very, very strong late game, which I think is great against Empire's Drive.
Look at this smoke from Empire. Are they going to head straight into the lineup of NLG? NLG, I think they realize something's up. But do they realize that it's actually up the stairs? Nofa's going to drop the weave now. Garter's found Silent here now with the snowball for as well. They've lost the Slardar straight up. Empire. They have dropped the tombstone here. Lowerton's doing a lot to Garter. Garter's got to get himself out with the ult. There'll be resolution with the roar onto Excalibur. He's throwing around the axe as well, but the shards come out. Looking for the razors isn't quite enough. Static Storm's being dropped, so Aloha Dancer and Yoku can't proceed into the fight. They find the kill onto Beastmaster. They do get a return pick off onto the Tusk. So it's a 2-for-1 at the moment. Aloha Dancer trying to move in. He's stolen a lot of strength, but there's your Chain Frost. Oh, look at this clutch point as well. No, but the bounce actually going all the way up to Yoku. Away from Aloha Dancer and Nofa, but there's the glimpse onto the quad, bringing Yoku back. He'll use himself up. Excalibur might just go down, and he will, but the ult from his death blowing up Empire. They lose 2 on NLG, but they wipe the floor from Empire. 5 heroes going down, and NLG coming out on top once again. The only kind of bad bit of that being the fact that they did lose Steve on the SF, but I think they'll be happy with that trade once again, Andy.
Yeah, there's no way they're dissatisfied. They got another 5-man. That is actually insane that they were able to take that fight so effectively. But again, it feels like every time Empire go into a 5 versus 5, they're playing a man down because Silent was on the other side of the freaking world at the start of that. He got pounced. He just got isolated. He got killed. He doesn't have anywhere near BKB. I think he's even going back for Armlet. Could even. It could be a Midas, I guess, as well. But I don't get it. Like, the coordination from Empire and these team fights is just not there.
It is the 22-minute Midas hit for the Slardar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's assuming it's going to go late. But honestly, against a Shadow Fiend and a Slark, Slark is more terrifying late game than anything the Empire have on their team. Like, easily. Especially if he gets to a point where he has got like the SNY, the Scotty, and then, you know, Silver Edge is probably not necessary this game just because there's no real passives that you care to break too much. He could go for BKB, and then how do you kill him at that point? You're going to have to hope for a Roar with Dark Packs down and no BKB. That's a tall order, and I don't know if you really want to take it super late if you're Empire. They could just be thinking to themselves that they have the better decision making, and that they're the ones who would probably make the right calls in the close situations, but NLG keep outplaying them.
Well, it certainly seems like that at the moment. I mean, Yoku is, well, he's kind of catching up with Excalibur, but there is still about, coming to 3k in it. And obviously SF with his farming capabilities, he's going to be able to keep himself above, and especially if they get this as well. Going for Roshan here, and Empire just not in a position to contest at all. They're going to try and look for the tier 2 and return top. But we may just see the side of NLG look to come back with a defense. They'll get the Aegis onto SF. Garts has found No Fear, and No Fear is all alone. He can shallow grave himself, but that's just going to allow Garts to get more stacks of the Essence shift up, and they'll find the kill. Oh, in fact, okay, they do. Yeah, they finally killed him.
Everyone thought he was dead.
I was going to say, just
like,
get the weave out.
We got him.
On the way down. We'll see what happens down here at the moment. Empire. Oh, that's a 4-star and a half from Milan. Alrighty, the Chain Frost has been thrown out. Excalibur trying to walk in. Yoku's chilling around on the sidelines, and now Garza blinks straight forward onto Silent. They'll take down the Slardar now with the Warrior's Punch onto a lower dance. He does pop out the Flesh Golem, tries to turn around with the decays, but it doesn't matter because Garza, he's stolen a hell of a lot of essences at the moment there with the Essence Shift. The 12 adding up on the damage and punching the poor old Undying in the face. Now there's a BKB on Excalibur. On top of the SNY, top of the lifesteal. He's getting harder and harder to kill.
Yeah, he's building for late game too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times you see mech purchased on Shadow Fiend nowadays, but he has a Lich on his team, he has a Tusk, 2 heroes who we often see buy mech, neither of which actually have it right now, but I assume one of them will buy it. And that also means that, again, that Midas pickup from Silent, I'm not really feeling it personally. I also think that the Atos from Undying could have been literally any other item, and it probably would have been better. Like, I don't... The only thing about Atos this game for me is I understand the synergy with the Hawk Vision, and that you can slow people and try to catch them and pick them off. But NLG aren't splitting up. Like, they're not playing split push Dota, they're 5-manning. So an Atos in that situation is not going to help you find picks. The other thing is it's useless against Slark, and it's also going to be useless against SF because he has BKB. So I think an Aghanims probably would have been like 20 times better than what he bought. I think it's kind of unfortunate that he had such a good start and he transitioned into kind of a mediocre item build.
We'll see if they, of course, are still able to do something spectacular with what they've got. They do have now a BKB on Yoku. They're actually heading down towards the bottom. NLG at the moment all on the top, and they're actually going to smoke up here in the Dire jungle and make a movement back across the map.
Top tower is under attack.
It is just the Lich and the Disruptor that's smoked up, though, so not really the most potent of combinations. I guess they do have the Chain Frost and the Kinetic Field with the Static Storm.
If the Slark's there, they can kill.
Yeah? Oh, yeah,
But,
the Slark's on the Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he finds an initiation, he can definitely kill, but it's more about what Empire can do to react, because they do have the Grave available on No Fear, and they are in a great position. There's no ward up here from the side of NLG, so if they look at that and they think that Silent is a kill, then that could be really bad for them. But for now, NLG continue to look strong.
They're looking very strong.
Yeah, Excalibur
very strong indeed.
sitting comfortably at the top of the net worth. 4,000 advantage over the next highest, which is Empire's Yoku.
I mean, I think obviously in the past, Excalibur, we've seen him touch into competitive Dota. He kind of had a bit of a break because he is a fairly young lad. I'm not quite sure.
He was like 16, I think, when he played for Fnatic.
And that was what, a couple of years
17, 18 now or something like that, I
About
guess.
a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was what, TI...
Hani probably knows. We can just ask him.
Hani knows. He'll know. He'll give us the lowdown in the break after the game's over, but...
He's what? He's 16 now.
He was 16 when he played
that's
for
what I
Fnatic.
said.
Yeah, 16 when he played for Fnatic. And, well, he's grown up and he's maybe even got a little bit better. And there we go. Does get the BKB off, turns around here, looking for the Lich kill. Milan's going to have to run out as well. Spartan's going to TP straight out, and so is Milan. Very nicely getting himself up to the high ground, but the cancel is there. And they do find the kill. Now Garda getting himself out. Bouncing away with the Shadow Dance. Doesn't want to get caught out by Empire. They are fighting with a man down, NLG. So I will be able to disengage. But at this point, it's kind of down to what Excalibur can do. And now that he has... What's he got now? Is he trying to smell the god? Yeah, okay, it's the talisman.
Yeah, it's going to be Butterfly.
Butterfly as well on this man.
So their timing on their items is so fast that when he finishes up this Butterfly, that Slark has S and Y. They got BKB on the SF, which is pretty much... I think Slark will probably buy one too, but probably not for a little while. That is enough to go high ground with. I don't think that they need to wait any longer until after Steve has that Butterfly going, because how are they going to kill him? Like, where is your damage coming from? He's got ice armor. They have a solar crest. He had 35 armor with just those two things on him, and that's also including the evasion that he gets from the talisman on top of the solar crest. You're not going to have any physical damage. Even with an amp, he's still well over 0 armor. Like, where is your damage coming from if you're Empire?
NLG just playing it safely and sensibly. They take the tier 2 in the mid lane. Garter TP straight back down to the bottom to just clear out the wave. He's making his way back towards the mid just in case Empire do try and fight here. Silent trying to position himself on the high ground, but the pings come out. They did see him head up here. He blinked himself straight down as well. And the D ward's there also, because Empire do realize that NLG were responding to the fact that he came down that path. And towards the mid lane, things are coming out. Garter moving forward, and he's going to get the vision there so that they can bring back Resolution into the Ring of Doom. And he will be doomed. Well, not literally, not in the game, but you get what I mean.
He is definitely doomed, I get it.
Yeah. 45 seconds for the man.
Well,
NLG.
Dude, this is straight up impressive.
Yeah.
It is very seldom that you watch a team that just underwent a roster change, right? They're very new. Like you mentioned, Excalibur came back playing competitively recently, and they are just trashing on Empire. And yeah, sure, Empire probably hasn't been in peak form for a little while, but
they were looking on the up recently, I felt.
I would say maybe they kind of had a more cohesion going for themselves a little bit ago when we were watching them. All right, that ward placement. That was a capital.
Yoku. Just coming in.
Just free racks. They just walk this off. They're like, yep, come at us.
Yoku's blinked in here. They might maybe try and turn that. Oh, they're just going to glimpse him back. Okay.
Yeah,
they don't want to try and fight it from the low ground, yeah.
They knew Resolution was going to be alive. He TP's in front. His Roar's still on cooldown for about 10 seconds, but I think everyone from NLG should be able to make it away from this. No harm, no foul. And like I said, free melee racks. Like, it ain't bad.
And what's that coming out for SF now? Excalibur. Was that close to the completed Butterfly? Okay, no, it was just getting a TP scroll, I think. Okay.
It's really strange, these two games, because a lot of the time when you watch two tier 1 teams play against each other, you can find a lot of very strategical points where one team went wrong. But these two games, it's just been all about the fighting. Like, every single time I see Empire take an engagement, one hero is horrendously out of position on Empire, and they die, and then they're fighting like 4v5. Like, mid, tier 1 that happened. It happened in the jungle. It happened top lane. Like, there really hasn't been a fight where I feel Empire have fielded everything they had at one given point. It's always been kind of like trickling in. So if they can manage to do that, maybe they have a chance of coming back, but as it stands right now, Shadow Fiend draws ever closer to that Butterfly.
Look at the Empire maybe thinking about fighting here as NLG do back up on the top lane. Do they want to try and jump on this? Garner's going to be there. Does get pushed to the side here by the Roar. The Roar was onto Mitch, but now they're jumping. The Static Storm's been popped down. They found the kill onto Resolution here. Yoku does get the kill onto Tusk, but Garter's just cleaning up. He cleans up Nofa on the Dazzle. Yoku hiding in the tree. Silent comes in with a crush onto Garter. They do get the bash onto Slark, so they'll get the Slark kill, but it's a 2 for 3 at the moment, and Excalibur still waltzing forward on full life. Silent's been spotted out. Do they have a glimpse? Yes, they do. Bringing back Silent on the Slardar. Gets the crush onto Milan, but Excalibur gets forced forward here. And again, yeah, the force is coming out.
One more hit.
He might not get it. The sprint's going to run out. He's got the blink, though.
Yeah, he's got blink.
He does manage to escape. But still a 3 for 2 trade there. favouring NLG. They do lose Garter there, which is obviously the most painful bit of that for No Logic Gaming.
Yeah. So again, that was miscommunication.
Yeah.
Like, they go in, right? Sure, they don't kill the Tusk right away, but no fear Graves Yoku, who's at full health and has BKB on, and the resolution just dies. It's like, all right, well, we definitely didn't start off that fight the way we wanted.
Yoku. Do they have the control here?
Yeah, he should be okay, I think. Yeah. Kinetic field, very close to spotting it.
Didn't have anything to cancel though from that distance.
Yeah. On the bright side, Empire do secure a BKB on Silent.
Okay.
Now, interestingly enough, he had, what was it, an 11-minute Blink Trust?
He had a very quick Blink Dagger compared to
then
the first game.
Then he bought a 20-minute Midas.
Yes.
And then he bought a 30-minute BKB. So on average, he's farming anywhere from 350 to 400 GPM as a safe lane hero. That's pretty bad. I mean, that's just like, I'm looking at it to myself and I'm thinking, you need to be able to win a fight, but I fail to see how. Like, how are they going to win? How are they going to kill the Shadow Fiend?
Maybe Undying's next pickup's going to be the item that answers that. He is closing in on the Aghanim Scepter. So if we kind of take that into account when we're fighting in these very enclosed situations that both teams seem to be finding each other in, those decays are going to hurt.
Yeah, but that's also kind of...
Oh, Silent. Puts the BKB straight away.
That was optimistic.
Yeah.
I guess they got a BKB charge.
Silent's going to be happy to live, though. Chain Frost is, of course, now down. But that's the Butterfly complete hit for Excalibur on his Shadow Fiend.
My God.
That's on his way out in the current.
So, Solar Crest and Butterfly Evasion on a hero
I mean,
who
where's
can
your
go high ground.
MKBs? It's not going to be happening anytime soon.
They're just too far behind. That's why I love this build so much from Excalibur, because he realizes it. He doesn't have to play like the 5-man mech Shadow Fiend. He can play the right click Shadow Fiend.
As well. I mean, Empire realize they've got to fight here. They're going to go straight into the pit. Let's see how this kicks off. Lower Dance frontlining it, gets the Tombstone up onto the high ground. Nice sonic wave from Yoku on the sidelines. They burst it down the Lich here. No fear getting low though, and they're just doing too much damage. Excalibur with the BKB just standing there, punching into Yoku. Yoku has to blink away, does get himself the double kill as they clear out two. Garda's trying to move forward, chasing down a low hard dance. And the Bread of Atos there, holding back the Slark. At the same time, Silence just eating the right clicks of Excalibur. Resolution's trying to find some kind of return here, and now Excalibur's all on his own. He looks for the TP out, but the Yaws is going to be there to cancel it. Empire making the plays happen there with Yoku. Gets himself a double kill at the start, comes back in for the kill, and yeah, Empire played that very nicely. Even though they do lose Silent on the Slardar, the big loss there.
He got kited out really badly, but the Slark is still alive. This Roshan's not that fast. Garter can definitely get his way back in here. He has a Blink Dagger. Empire have to go back.
Yeah, they brought back on Tusk as well. So Empire realizing, yeah, you do not want to contest this.
So that Tombstone from Aloha Dance actually salvaged the entire game, because he actually tried to attack it like 4 times. I think he missed like 3 out of the 4 attacks that he threw at it. He did end up killing Silent before he went down, but...
Oh, Yoku blinking into the pit. Garter's going to go straight for the Tombstone here. Can't quite finish it off. The stun from the Snowball onto Yoku, but Yoku puts the BKB. They found the Tombstone. Resolution now stuck in the middle of all. There'll be a Sonic Wave from Yoku. It's going to be actually Yoku kind of cleaning up here. If he can find Garter as well, he does. Double kill for Yoku. There's going to be a buyback straight away from Slark. Slark wanting to get himself back in there. The Static Storm trapping up a low hard dance. Yoku's moving forward. He wants to try and find more. Will be used up here by the Lich. Silent looking for the Blink Crush, and he finds it. Onto Milan. Amplify's dropped down as well, but he's been a bit careful because Garter's turned back up to the fight. Silent will BKB and start to move himself away from the Slark. Garter, they're going to get it. They're going to get it. They got the Yoku Aegis. They found the Aegis. Yoku just blinking in. We'll get a glimpse back here. But Empire...
That's big.
Finding themselves some very positive action around the Roshan pit.
They win 2 or 3 trades back to back. Yep. They also get the Roshan secured. That was huge. I'd say if NLG got that Roshan, the game would have been over. Like, just straight up. They would have walked down as 5. They would have hit the buildings, and Empire would be like, well, if we don't have buybacks, we can't fight you. And there's a good chance they could have easily gone top and gotten another set of melee and range racks. But because they won, they bought themselves some very much needed time, first off. Yes. They got a tremendous amount of gold from that, especially on Aloha Dance. He managed to finally get his Aghanims. Now, this is a bit later in the game than maybe he would have liked, but you can see the difference just in that one team fight. Being ahead, and as far ahead as NLG were, you can't afford to make the mistakes and get kind of locked into a drawn-out fight where you eventually die just because you don't kill a Tombstone. Like, that was probably the only way they were going to win a fight, is if a Tombstone had been up for an entire duration, and that's more or less what happened. Steve just got caught out trying to kill a Tombstone and just died afterwards because his team was not there to help him. And at the start of that fight, Yoku's Sonic Wave, like, immediately killed the Lich too.
Yeah, Yoku's been stepping up his performance this game. We've seen pretty much the last 2 fights just crazy multiple man Sonic Waves and the cleanup coming in from him as well. He's been playing these engagements very smartly.
It was a very nice initiation from Empire that time. But that's what I was saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen that at all, like in the entire series. And that was the first time where Empire were all there at the same time. They knew who they were going on. They got some really quick kills with the Slardar and the Queen, and they won the fight.
Oh, let's see what happens mid. NLG playing a bit more defensively now after they realize the fact that Empire can and will take these fights with what they've got at their disposal. Resolution's got the Roar. In fact, ults across the board are all up and available for this next fight. It's just going to be a question of who wants to make the first jump. Very tense position here for both sides.
NLG are feeling the pressure maybe for the first time.
Yeah. First time in the whole series.
Yeah. See how they react in this position. Because they've been playing from ahead most of the time.
Yeah, I was going to say, exactly. This is something that we haven't seen them play from. Playing from this this position where they're
all high ground. Are
base.
they going to smoke? No, they don't have one. They're just waiting it out. Maybe just don't want to risk fighting into...
Empire, in fact, smoking here. Oh, no, sorry. No, it was NLG smoking, so yeah.
Oh, they did smoke. It was on a courier, okay.
Yeah. Let's see what they can get. Lohadan's hiding in the tree line. Excalibur with the wraparound here, moving round. Who's going to make the first bit of jump here? Here they go, they reveal themselves. Got a straight to no fear. They eliminate the Dazzle. Now Lohadan's Excalibur getting bashed up though. Just turns around with the right clicks and punches away at Lohadan's. Now a love for the Requiem. Again, the Roar interrupting him. Now he gets it off. They'll turn for Yoku, but Yoku's already got, like, he gets the kill onto Touchdown. Yoku's just standing there, right clicking away the heroes of NLG. He should be able to find Spartan as well. Does with the Scream. Lohadan's still alive, but he's going to be the last one to drop, and it is NLG clearing up. There is the Aegis on Yoku. Can he go for anything more here? That's the question. I think he'll be careful because Garta is still there on the sidelines.
He might be dead. He has to blink and then he's going to get a glimpse.
Yeah, there we go. 4-star forward, getting the glimpse off, and Garta cleaning up house here. Okay, he's got another blink hit. They're going to get it all!
He's earned. I think, does he still die? Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
Tower is under attack.
Get that EXP.
Under pain
All right.
of death.
So, NLG did do it. They did it. They took the fight.
That was so
But
nice
only just.
from NLG. They go in, they kill No Fear before he's even able to react. Like, it was a snowball initiation. He gets blown up. You got no Grave, you got no Weave. The sustain in the fight is so important. He's also dead, I believe.
Okay.
That's fine.
Gart will say, though, thanks for the stacks. 37. Am I reading that correct? Yes, I am.
37.
Okay, that's 111 agility if my math's correct.
Yep.
Even though I did just kind of read it.
I was going to say, didn't he just have it over the SM shift thing? Well played, Owen.
Well played. Thanks, Andy.
I don't know, man. Like, these fights from NLG, their coordination is very good. They know their targets before they go in. They're like, okay, we're killing the Dazzle, then we just go for the Slardar because he's the one who doesn't have Aegis. Like, the Shadow Fiend didn't waste any time auto-attacking heroes that didn't matter.
Oh, hello. Resolution. That was a bit of an aggressive blink. He does have the Shallow Grave. Silence jumped in as well. But Gart is just going to look to clean up here. He's going to get Raw to the face, but the Dark Power was there. They'll get the kill onto the Beastmaster. Silent having to get himself out, but now with the snowball and the punch from Mitch coming through, and Garta, 40, oh my goodness.
He hits so
Look how much he's
hard.
stolen. 49.
He's going for the record.
Oh, how much is he on at the moment? 50. He hits 50. And this is the point where I think you've just lost.
Yeah, they definitely have lost. They can't get rid of the
That's a hell of a lot of essence shifting going on here.
Yeah, but this is the stage in the game where Slark becomes a huge nuisance for you because you don't have enough lockdown. Like, if you commit your lockdown to kill SF, then Slark's going to run free. If you commit your lockdown to kill the Slark, the SF is going to Requiem and auto-attack you to death. Like, you don't actually have a good plan of action anymore as Empire. You just have to initiate and hope that you can try to kite out the Shadow Fiend, I guess. And then hope that you can isolate the Slark. I don't know. It's very hard to deal with both of these cores having the item progression that Excalibur and Garter do. And that's just going to be it. NLG are going to take this 2-0. Honestly, this puts Empire in a terrible spot in the standings. Because before this,
Mega creep.
they only had 4 more games to play. And the best they could have done was 8-6, right? Because they were 4-6, I believe, before the series started, right? So with those losses, they are looking not so hot. Even if they win their last 2 games.
GG's called.
They are definitely bottom 4 now. Like, I would be
Damn.
very surprised if anybody has that
No
many
Logic
losses.
Gaming. What a team. What a bunch of gamers.
Very impressive, actually.
Very impressive.
Their team fighting, I think, was probably my favorite part about watching them play. Even that last engagement it's like a perfect example. They go in from the side. Empire probably thinking a team like this won't try to fight us when we have the Aegis advantage, right? They might just let us push into the tier 2 because why take the risk? A lot of teams would think that way. Like, why take the risk to defend a tier 2 tower? It doesn't make sense.